Okay, part 2. Just escaped the bandits and I'm on the train to New York.
Jake, are you okay?
I'm a little tense, Jared. I haven't left Coloma for 30 years.
Everything will be good. We're on the way to our real home.
I think you're right, but these bandits are a nuisance. Do you think we'll succeed?
I don't see why we wouldn't. These gangsters are so stupid that with a little trickery, we will beat them with their own weapons.
Okay, I'll wait here. I don't have patience for these thugs, and I don't trust myself outside our car.
That's fine. I'll do everything we need to do, and it will give me more room to maneuver.
On the stove, you cook your meals from time to time. There, the fake gold is hidden. These are Eurocom. There, the fake gold is hidden. You take the fake gold bars. The hiding place is empty. You're hiding the fake gold bars under the bed. It's your Bible. Every time you open it, you think of the 49er who... You take the Bible. It has a worn black leather cover. This is a door to the outside. This is a door to the out. You see nothing important here now. They are telegraph wires. You take the wires. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary cabinet. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary cabinet. The door of the safe is very strong. There is a combination lock with a dial in the center. You open the safe. You take the real gold. The safe is empty. You close the safe. You take the fake gold bars. These are real gold. You are hiding the real gold bars. You open the safe. You put the fake gold in the safe. You close the safe. From the outside, this is a telegraph set. You can use it to send and receive more. The caboose is still coupled behind the flatbed. The gang's locomotive is moving up right behind the caboose and members of the gang are about to jump onto your train. You should do something quick. The caboose is still coupled behind the flatbed. The bolt ensures that the following cars will stay coupled to the train. You take the bolt out of the railcar coupling. Well done. Disconnecting the caboose should delay the gang for a while. Now that you are away from your business in California, you and Jake begin to reminisce about your home in Brooklyn. You've had an amazing adventure, but now you are glad to be going home. It appears the caboose did not present a big problem for the gang. They moved it off the track somehow and have closed the gap between the trains. They are getting very close. Jared, do something!
So, in case you didn't notice, I got the caboose message early, so that was a bit confusing.
Jake,
I'm a little tense, Jared.
everything...
I think you're right.
I don't see...
Okay.
That's fine.
You push a railroad tie off the back of the train and it falls into the track. You push another railroad tie onto the tracks behind the train. Still, the gang doesn't give up. You push yet another railroad tie from the end of the train, which falls onto the tracks and bounces, and unfortunately ends up next to the tracks. Crap. The next tie ends up on the rails. With splinters in your hands, you push the last railroad tie off the train, and it falls on the tracks. There. Those 4 ties should hold them back for a while. Jared, you have an answer for everything. The gang will have to stop and remove each railroad tie from the track. That slows them down and gives you a little breathing room. It looks like the gangsters have cleared the tracks and are back on your heels. Their locomotive is faster than yours since it isn't pulling a long, heavy train. Do you have any more brilliant ideas?
Jake,
I'm a little tense.
everything will be...
I think you're right.
I don't see why we wouldn't.
Okay.
That's fine.
Jake is so... This is your living car. Jake is so tense that he stays in his living quarters. This is your living car. From the outside, using the left handle will open and close the jail doors. Using the right handle will open and close the trap door in the ceiling. Using the left handle will open and close the jail doors. Using the right handle will open and close the trap door in the ceiling. Use From the outside, it looks like these copper wires are used to connect a telegraph set to using the left. From the outside, This is your armored rail car. Your clothes are in the closet. These are your accommodations.
Kind of weird how the wheels are.
Yes, that could work, but you might still need the flatbed, so let's think of something different. You have an unobstructed view of the track behind your train. Even if the gang was slightly thrown back, you watch as they again get close. You have an unobstructed view of You have an unobstructed view of the track behind your train. Even if the gang was slightly thrown back, you watch. Using the left hand. This is your armored rail car. It was built to transport. On the stove. Jake is so tense.
Jake, are you okay?
I'm a little tense, Jared.
Everything will be good.
I think you're right.
I don't see why we wouldn't. These gangsters are so stupid that with a little trickery, we will beat them with their own weapons.
Okay, I'll wait here. I don't have patience.
That's fine.
There, the real gold is hidden. These are your accommodations. These maps are showing a portion. This is a few $100s in cash. You found this pipe among remnants at the blacksmith's shop. It's not the strongest. You know horseshoes can't. You have an unobstructed view of the track behind your train. Even if the gang was slightly thrown back, you watch as they. This is a door to the outside. This is just a normal table. On the stove, you cook your meals from time to time. Using the left handle will open and close the jail doors. Using the right handle will open and close the trap door in the ceiling. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary. Using the left. This is a door to the... You have an unobstructed view of... You have an unobstructed view of the track behind your train. You have an unobstructed... You have an unobstructed... You have an unobstructed... You open the safe. You close the safe. Using the left handle will open and close the jail doors. Using the right handle will open and close the trap door in the ceiling. The window is so reinforced that nobody can escape. Using the left... The door of the safe is very strong. There is a combination lock with a dial in the center. People who appreciate wine will immediately recognize the quality of this. From the outside, it looks like it has a worn black leather cover. It has a using This is a door to the... This is a door to the... On the stove. This is typical seating for a... This is typical... Jake is so tense that yes, that could work, but you might still need the flatbed. You have an unobstructed. These maps are.
Huh.
When the bed is folded out, you can draw the curtain and create a small sleeping cabin. This traveler looks so. This is one of the passenger cars. This is one of the This is one of the passenger cars. This person has been looking out the window for a long time. You take the magnifying glass. When the bed is folded out, you can. The coach passengers. You take the tool. This traveler looks somewhat grim. This passenger is asleep. This wrench is old, but it's helpful for loosening and tightening large nuts and bolts. The coach passengers' chairs are functional and durable, but the coach passengers This is a door. This is one of the passenger. The locomotive has enough firewood to get to the next station. The locomotive has enough firewood to get to the next station. That is the engine driver.
Hello?
What are you doing here? This is dangerous.
I'm sorry, but another train is chasing us. If they catch us, the men will board our train and try.
How much lead time?
I don't know. I think
That's enough time for my idea. I'll stop the train so you can remove one of the iron rails from the track behind our last car. That should stop the other train from following us. Then I'll take the train as quickly as possible to the next station. We will need some good tools if we're gonna make this work.
Okay, I'll see if I can find some tools somewhere.
Did you find the tools?
Yes, here you go.
Okay. I'll stop the train and you get to work, removing that rail. I'll stay here and see that no one enters the engine.
The bolts at each end of the rail are tight, but they will have to come out if you are going to remove this iron rail. You got the bolts out of the rail, but the tool is now broken. You hope the gang is missing the tool they need to repair the track and you can continue without them falling. That would be very good. At an altitude of about 7,000 feet, the train moves through Donner Pass. It was named after George Donner, the leader of a group of pioneers forced to spend a disastrous winter here in 1846. The terrain is very steep and rocky. The gangsters' locomotive is getting dangerously close. They will catch you soon if you don't do something to slow them down.
Jake, are you okay?
I'm a little tense.
Everything will be.
I think you're right.
I don't see why we wouldn't. These gangsters are so.
Okay. I'll wait.
That's fine.
You have an unobstructed view of the track behind your train. Even if the gang was slightly thrown back, you watch. Using the left. The locomotive has enough firewood to get to the next station.
Hello? I thought so too, but they're close behind us again. We aren't.
This is a problem.
I have 3 sticks of dynamite. Maybe we can use it to block the track with.
For Pete's sake. You carry dynamite with you? Well, we can't let that locomotive catch us. If you can block the rails.
Okay, I am familiar with.
Okay. I'll stop the train again. You place the dynamite at least 100 yards behind our train. When you're sure the other train is still pursuing us, light the fuse.
All right, let's do it.
This is a good place to start a rock slide. You place the dynamite between some large rocks with the fuse easily accessible. You are brilliant. Holding the magnifying glass over the dynamite's fuse. After demonstrating your skills in precision blasting, the gang's locomotive is blocked. You dislodged some key boulders, causing a rock slide to cover the tracks behind you. They will persuade you no longer. When the train stops in Truckee, you notice 4 shady characters board the train. They speak like they're from Brooklyn and are eyeing you suspiciously. More of Tweed's gang has been waiting in Truckee to see if the first group failed to stop you in California. After the train is back in motion, the gangsters begin to search for you. You should try to catch the gang in a trap.
So it just seems weird that the engineer is proposing to destroy the tracks behind you just because, normally you don't, not your first thought to destroy your employer's equipment, especially something like a train tracks.
Using the left handle will open and close the jail doors.
When the doors are closed, go up onto the roof and lure the bandits over the trap.
I will shout as soon as they are standing on the trap door.
You move the lever and the cage doors closes. The right time has not yet come.
Hey, here I am.
Yes. Wait right there. I've got something for you.
Hey,
Yes.
now!
The right time has not yet come.
Are you giving up so soon?
Giving up? Ha! I'm just getting started.
Now! You're a band of useless drunkards!
You should see.
Now! Greetings to your boss! From me!
I'll bring greetings from him. Wait there and see.
This sequence is a bit fun.
The right time has not yet come.
Now!
All 4 gang members are caught. You decide to deliver them to the marshal at the next train stop. The railway runs along the Humboldt River, which is named after the German scientist Alexander von Humboldt, and drains into the Humboldt Sink. When the train stops in Winnemucca, you run directly to the marshal and tell him what happened. He's happy to take those 4 killers off your hands. Well done. Humboldt Plains. Some passengers are upset because you have disconnected their luggage with the caboose. Therefore, they have forged a cowardly plan. They have noticed that Jake and you are rich. They want the gold from the safe. You are a genius. You will use the worthless gold bars. Willingly, you open the safe and give the bars to them. After the passengers have the gold, they decouple your wagons. You are now located in the Humboldt Plains. Is this the end of your journey? Do something, Jared. Do it now. These are your accommodations.
That was weird.
This is your private living car. You can't use the telegraph set because you see nothing important here now.
Those thieves left us stranded.
Yes, and it might be a week.
Do you have...
If we had enough wire, we could connect the car to the cables up there.
A good idea, but that pole has a missing rung. You place the metal pipe in a hole that once held the missing rung. You connect your wires to the telegraph cables that run from pole to pole. Your wires are long and hang straight down and rest on the ground. You see nothing.
Jake, I've attached our wires.
Good. If you get up on the car...
These are your rail cars. You see nothing.
But for some reason we lost our ladder. This is where I went up last time, right?
This is your armored rail car. It was.
Ah, this is where the ladder.
You see nothing important.
So far puzzles are pretty easy.
Okay, I'm...
Here it comes, Jared.
These are your rail cars. This is. You found a solution. You contacted a telegraph operator at the next station, Humboldt Wells, who said the train has just arrived. The engineer was shocked to learn that you were. For old adventurers like you, this problem is not a big deal. It will take some time, but a locomotive will come pick you up and the journey will continue. Corinne. Green River. Fort Fred Steele. The train stops at a train station in Laramie. You and Jake will travel to Fort Laramie to recover a sealed box that Jake hid there many years ago. The engineer of the train has agreed to wait until you return before leaving. There may be food supplies for the kitchen in these barrels. There's a watchdog tied to a stake. It barks at any unusual activity. These are simple wooden slates. You see nothing important here now. It looks like a tough piece of meat with some bone remaining. You take the meat. You see nothing important here now. He is busy preparing food for dinner and is ignoring you. There's nothing special about this picture. You see nothing important. What is going on here? You put the meat on the ground in front of the dog. There could be something. You see nothing. There could be something. There could be something. There may be food supplies. This is an ordinary roof. These are. You see nothing. You are not a good cook, but you take. You see nothing. You see nothing important. You see nothing. Through the window, you can. You should check to see if there is something hard below the surface. There could be something.
How do I check to find if there is something hard below the surface?
There could be something. You see nothing important. There could be something.
Weird, there's like no discussion or interaction with the brother here about what he buried and where.
There's a watchdog tied to a stake. There's a watch. Fort Laramie wouldn't be in a United States Army fort without a flagpole and an American. That seems to be the. There could be something. You should check to see if there is something hard below the surface before digging with the pan. You see nothing important here now. There could be something. You see nothing important. There could be something. These are normal plates. You take this bite. There doesn't seem to be anything buried here. There doesn't seem to be anything buried here. There is something buried. There doesn't seem. You are digging with a pan, and after some time you find a sealed metal box. This weatherproof box contains evidence against William Tweed. There are incriminating documents from Tweed's organization and sworn affidavits. Whew, you're sure glad that is over. As the journey to Brooklyn continues, you say to Jake,
From here on out, it looks like smooth sailing.
the newly built Transcontinental Railroad ends in Omaha. There's no bridge over the Missouri River, so your cars are ferried across the river and connected to a train in Council Bluffs. You will continue your trip on an older network of rail lines that go to Brooklyn, Chicago.
Okay, Jared. This is where I stay and wait for you. You will have to travel into Brooklyn by yourself, because I'm still wanted by the law, and if I go, it will only make your job more difficult. Here's the evidence we recovered at Fort Laramie. I'm sure you'll find the right person to give it to. I think it will be important to find Mr. Quayle. He will know the right person to give it to. Remember, our main objective is to put Tweed behind bars. Do whatever it takes to give the police enough evidence to arrest Tweed. Send me a letter after his arrest, and I will come to the courthouse in Brooklyn for the trial. You can send the letter to the address written on this note. I should receive it a few days after you send it, and I will come right away. Here is one of the letters we received from Mr. Quayle. It has the bank manager's name and other information that may prove useful. I wish I could go with you, Jared, but I know you are very capable, and will be able to do this job easier without me getting into trouble.
Jake and Jared part ways. Jake stays in the train car, and Jared travels across New York City in a cab and boards the Fulton ferry to Brooklyn. On board the ferry to Brooklyn, Jared begins to read a newspaper left in the passenger area. He is interested in catching up on the latest news, but he is also interested because the newspaper is the Brooklyn Evening Star, the newspaper Jared worked for 20 years earlier. An article on the front page catches his eye. What he saw written there was so surprising that he closed his eyes, shook his head, and opened them again to see if he was seeing it correctly. What? This can't be. The article tells a story about you and your brother Jake that is not in the least bit true. This is nothing but a bunch of lies. The article presented a well-crafted fabrication of how many of the problems in Brooklyn are a result of Mr. Quayle and the Wilson brothers bribing officials and cheating on contracts with the city of Brooklyn. The stories would sound completely plausible to someone who didn't know any different. And to compound the problem, the article presented William Tweed, who is now in the state legislature, as a statesman looking out for the people of the city and state. According to the article, there is no dirt on his hands. He is not to blame for any of the problems, even though he has been in public office for the last 17 years. Jared has a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach as he closes the newspaper and slips it into a garbage can, where it belongs. Just then he feels the ferry bump the dock. He is now back in Brooklyn after 20 years away. This is the last letter Mr. Quayle sent you in California. In it, he asks you to return to Brooklyn because the town is in trouble and he is in danger. He is hiding from Tweed's gang, but he wants you to find him. The new bank manager, John Gossett, will know where he is. This is one of Brooklyn's finest.
Who are you? I'm keeping my eye on you.
The voices that almost sound like something I would expect from NPR or like a Zoom exhibit. They're very thorough. Not a lot of money. It's supposed to be very.
There are two small booths on either side. The man seems to be tired and sad. He keeps looking away.
Hi, how is business going?
You have a lot of nerve asking me a question like that, Mr. Wilson. Very bad. But you should know that because you wear the blame for it.
You see nothing important here now.
Who are you?
This is the door to the ground.
If you were to tell me they used the same exact graphics in this for the town as they did in the remake, I would believe it. Third time we've seen this avatar in a store.
I want to...
We have a few flowers left.
Those look great. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about... I'm sorry about... I must...
The stores don't seem to be... This is the door. That worker is Rand's employee.
Hi. I want to see Rand.
Yes, but he's currently...
Okay.
At the wall you see chains. At the wall you see chains and ropes. You see nothing important here now. The bin is full of nails. You see nothing important.
Flowers. Can I go visit my parents' grave?
This is one of Brooklyn's finest. He... These chains block the way. There's nothing unique. The courthouse is the big... You see nothing important. The officer with the red hair glances around.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
What about?
There are rats all over town these days. It's very...
There was only a dock here when you left Brooklyn. This door is... You see nothing important here now.
Hello.
I'm sorry he's busy and can't speak to anyone now. You may come back later.
Your former boss was a great guy to work for.
I don't have time.
This man was the expert on the Brooklyn economy. Hello. When you visit your parents' graves, you bring a bouquet of flowers in their memory. It was a dark, damp, dreary, cold, rainy, windy winter night many years ago that your mother and father were suddenly taken in an unfortunate horse-drawn buggy accident. How quickly and tragically they were taken. You never have, and most likely never will, understand why. A brick wall
Hello. I'm sorry. I've changed my mind. There are still some things I need to do before